standing is the Borough President, Eric Adams, is here and would like to testify. ¿Quiere hacerle una pregunta a usted, señora? ¿Puede esperar? Why are we letting him speak before?
El presidente del condado quiere hablar.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I have a couple more graduations to do, and actually I was going to have my deputy come and speak, but instead last night I spent the night out on the sidewalk in front of the governor's office as we push the conversation forward. Let me get my minute and 30 in. Even though this is my house, they would throw me out if I don't. And it was an eye-opening experience. Talking to the people who slept side by side with me is a great equalizer when you are sleeping on the pavement together. And just hearing some of the stories. You know, sometimes we make these decisions in the sterilized environment of this beautiful chamber and don't realize the real life pain that people are experiencing. I have a three-family house, and I committed to my tenants I would never raise their rent as long as they live there. There's so much, as Gandhi said, for human need. There's just not a lot for human greed. We need to all pause for a moment and give relief to the faces of people who are hurting, and they need relief. There's no reason we can't do a rollback. There's no reason we cannot make sure that everyday people, there's a hemorrhaging of good people. Folks who were waking up to gunshots and not alarm clocks and then flee Brooklyn, now we want to throw them out because we got so fancy and so cute. That can't happen. And so, to do a rollback, it's not going to hurt anyone. It's just going to mean instead of eating out 5 days a week, you eat out 4. Give up. Everybody got to give up something. I'm willing to give up something. All the people of Brooklyn to give up something. Let's do a rollback.
Thank you for your testimony, Borough President. Roger Meltzer, I'm sorry. We have one question, please.
To the prior speaker, to the prior speaker.
It's a great sound.
Wait, who said a question?
Sure. I'll come and work with you for a week if you come and sleep on the sidewalk a week with some of these homeless people. Let's do it together. Let's do it. Let's do it together. I'm sorry. I don't want to be disruptive.
I have a question for her.
Previously.
Tenants.
Borough President, your remarks have been enlightening, and thank you so much.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
¿Qué significaría una reducción de renta para usted ahora mismo? ¿Qué pudiera hacer usted con su ingreso si tuviera una reducción de renta?
What would it mean if you have a rent reduction? What would you do with that income?
Sería algo maravilloso porque yo soy una madre soltera que llevo todo el sustento para mi hijo, para mantener mi apartamento y darle a mi hijo lo necesario para sobrevivir. Sería una gran ayuda.
It would be a great help because I'm a single mother, so that would provide a lot of support for me to give my child everything that he needs to just survive and sustain ourselves. So next is Roger Meltzer. No, you're good. Roger Meltzer. That's you. Oh, okay.
I provided a handout before that everybody has, and I will begin referring to that. My name is Roger Meltzer. The top of the first page is Brooklyn in 1927, and that's my apartment building in the center of the picture. 88 years later, in 2015, everything from 1927 is obsolete. The Model T Fords and cobblestone streets are gone. The one-story warehouse has been replaced by condominiums. Yet my building from that era is still going. If you now look at page 2, you will see that the roaring 20s were the period of the greatest housing production in the history of New York City. Over 90,000 units per year were constructed. hundreds, if not thousands, of buildings like mine were built. Before that, another generation, thousands of old tenants preceded this. It's a challenging job and responsibility to keep these old buildings serviceable. No other city in the world is so dependent on such an aged housing stock. So 0 and 1% increases are an eventual prescription for disaster. It's like the 50s and 60s all over again. On page 3, I pointed out that both my heating costs and real estate taxes have escalated substantially. I know this year oil prices have declined, but simultaneously my insurance company came in and said I had to make some repairs. I spent $6,500 alone on repairing marble stairs in the building, and that itself used up $6,500, all my fuel savings. So when the building reaches middle age, there's lots of expenses that are not in the PIAC, and I've included that also on the bottom of page 3. I've put in 10 bicycle racks that cost $1,250. I add legal expenses with an adjacent developer that wanted to put an oversized building. I spent $15,000 to protect not only myself, but the entire neighborhood. In conclusion, I'm proud to be an apartment building owner. On the 4th floor, I just have a few pictures from the interior of the building. It's a magnificent building from the 1927, and you're just not going to find buildings like this anymore, and they need to be preserved, and we need rent increases to do that. Thank you.
We appreciate your testimony. Sorry, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, Mr. Melzer, we have a question from the board. Can we listen to the question from the board, please? Thank you.
So I see a whole bunch of documents here about expenses. What's your rent roll?
My rent roll is about $300,000.
Can we listen to his answers, please?
$300,000.
Okay. So do your expenses are covered by your rent roll and you make some profit?
There are always expenses in a building like this, and there's lots of things that you'd like to do that you don't get done.
But they are covered, right?
My expenses are covered, but I've got lots of things coming down the pike, like I need a new boiler. The mayor has a green initiative that he wants us to spend money on reducing the carbon output. A new boiler would do that. I could put
Can we please listen to his answer?
panels on the window to make electricity.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And I want to say this, my rents are affordable. I've never had a loss of tenant because the rents, they couldn't afford the rent increases, and I'm satisfied that I'm doing a good job as an owner in Brooklyn. I preserved the building, I've helped stabilize the neighborhood along with other property owners. So
How many of your buildings are rent stabilized, of your
I
apartments
only
are rent
have
stabilized?
one building.
Yeah, how many of the apartments in the building?
There are 20, I'm not going to say, what I'm going to say is that none of my rents approach anything like the mayor's getting in his house, $5,000 for one house, or $2,500 for each of 2 apartments. None of my rents approach that. I'm not going to answer your question because you're just trying to make trouble.
Can you answer the question, how many apartments are rent stabilized in your building?
I'm not going to answer it.
Thanks, sit down then.
Mr. Melzer, thank you for coming and thank you for your testimony. Ms. Bravesi, and then Daniel Klein and Omar Arias. Thank you so much for your patience.
Junio 18 de 2015, Comité Regular de Renta. Mi nombre es María Dubelcier y vivo en el 18 de la calle Mena. Tengo 72 años de edad. Llevo viviendo ahí 12 años con mi hija y con mi nieto. Yo pago de renta 1.066 y apenas recibo de $6.79 al mes y no me alcanza para completar la renta. Si no fuera por mi nieto y por mi hija no pudiera comer, no pudiera tener un techo para poder vivir y mucho menos comer. Imagínense a mi edad. sin un techo para vivir, anduviera ambulada en la calle, si la renta fuera frisada y yo pudiera comer, yo puedo hoy retroceder la renta. Gracias.
Gracias. June 18, 2015, to the Rain Guidelines Board. My name is Maria Duversi. I live on 18 of Menahem Street. I am 72 years old. I lived there for 12 years with my daughter and my grandson. I pay for rent $1,066, and I only receive $679 a month for SSI. That's not enough to complete rent. If it wasn't for my grandson and my daughter, I would not have a roof over my head, a place to live, and much less to eat. Imagine at my age if I didn't have a roof over my head, and I would be homeless. If the rent would be frozen, I would have more to eat. I ask today that you go back on rent.
Muchas gracias. Daniel Klein, then Omar Arias, Vijay Boje, and then Altagracia Abimana.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, board members. Good evening, everyone in the audience. My name is Daniel. I'm the assistant manager for approximately 500 stabilized units in South Brooklyn. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to cut out most of what I was going to say. But I have one point that I believe is very important, and I believe everybody should take note of, and it's something I've witnessed this past year with a 1% increase. As a manager, I get to see hundreds of blue-collar workers who service my buildings. I have the super, I have the porter, I have the construction crews, and I have all the people who work very hard to put bread on the table to service these buildings. Now, I understand that Mr. Eric Adams said that people will go homeless perhaps from an increase, but I don't believe that anybody who can afford $1,000 will go homeless from an extra $20 a month. I understand, but I don't believe any landlord has ever attempted to evict a tenant for $240 in owed rent. And I surely don't believe that any judge has ever evicted a tenant for $240 in owed rent. However, I can tell you what I have seen. I'm the manager again, I'm the guy in the middle, I don't own the building, even though I'm Jewish. I don't know that. But I have seen landlords are running a business like any business. And their expenses are going up. And they have investors, most of them. They all have investors. And the truth is, investors want money. Just like someone who has a restaurant wants to raise the prices of his stuff and wants to make some money.
Mr. Klein, you can summarize. Time is up.
To summarize, if there are no increases, the owners will pass on, and that's what they've done. They pass on the losses, and not all of it, but as much as they can, to the superintendents, to all the blue-collar workers who are servicing the building. They cut the construction. I've seen a few weeks ago a guy tell a construction crew, I'm going to have to cut you down by 25% from what you usually charge for construction because the government is not letting me make any money. So just to summarize in two sentences, a small increase. So just to summarize, a very small increase by
Omar Arias. Omar Arias. Omar Arias. Altagracia Abemán.
Mi nombre es Altagracia Binader. Soy miembro de Big Hit y estoy de representación de mí y de mis vecinos. Vivo en el 244 de la calle Truman Street por 15 años con mis hijas. Una de mis hijas tiene síndrome de Down y problemas del corazón. Cuando el nuevo dueño compró el edificio, empezó a hacernos la vida imposible para que saliéramos del edificio. Por 6 meses viví con huecos, gotas de agua, no, le decía al dueño y no respondía. Hasta se atrevió a llevarlo a la Suprema Corte, alegando que había una partición ilegal, lo cual no era cierto. Le puso una cerradura a la entrada del edificio que si perdemos las llaves tenemos que pagar al dueño $50 para obtener una copia. Mi renta es más alta que mi ingreso y yo no puedo pagar otro aumento. Viene a tocar la puerta en cualquier hora, incluso en las noches sin avisar. Ellos quieren controlarnos hasta los pasos que damos y lo hacen por molestarnos a ver si nos mudamos. El pasado junio 9 no estaba en la casa y vinieron como 6 personas y mi hija estaba tan asustada que pensaba que se la llevarían presa, lo cual es perjudicial por su salud. Por lo tanto, le pido al Comité Regulador de Renta cero aumento de renta.
My name is Altagracia Abinader. I'm a member of BHIP, and I'm in representation of myself and my neighbors. I live on 244 Trotman Street for 15 years with my daughters. One of my daughters has Down syndrome and heart problems. When the new owner bought the building, he started to make our life impossible so we could leave the building. For 6 months, I lived with holes, water leakage, mold, and I would tell the owner and he would not respond until he dared to take me to the Supreme Court, alleging that there was an illegal partition, which wasn't true. He put a new lock at the entrance of the building, so if we lost the key, we have to pay the owner $50 to get a copy. My rent is higher than my income. I cannot pay for another rent increase. They come to knock on our door at any hour, even at nighttime, without previous notice. They want to control all of our steps, and they do it to harass us to see if we move out. Last June 9th, I wasn't home, and about 6 people came, and my daughter was very scared. She thought that she would get taken away, arrested, which is not good for their health. For that reason, I asked the board to have zero rent increase. Muchas gracias.
¿Qué significaría un aumento de 0% para usted? Que no hubiera un aumento, una reducción de renta. ¿Le puede decir el micrófono?
What would it mean if there was actually no increase, zero increase?
Sería una felicidad para los inquilinos, especialmente para mí, ya que soy cabecera del hogar y mi dinero por lo que gano no es suficiente para la renta.
It will be a lot of joy for many, many tenants. Someone like myself who's head of household and my income is not enough to pay rent. Thank you. We'd like to welcome Jemani Williams, City Councilman Jemani Williams.
Good evening, tenants. How you doing? Good evening to the board. How are you? So I testified before you a few weeks ago. and I made all the presentations and gave all the stats about why we should not just have a rent freeze, but obviously a rent rollback, because we believe it's time for that. The one thing that has changed since that time is the rent laws have expired. And so we're even in a worse situation than we were just a few weeks ago. And I think it's time that everybody stand up for the tenants. We have focused a lot of ire toward the governor in that time, which we should and should continue to, but we have to make sure that everybody is playing their part. And if everybody plays their part, I think this year, for the first time ever since the Rent Guidelines Board, we can send a message that people care about what's happening to the tenants and that we are asking the questions to make sure that tenants are protected. And the way that we can do that is a rent rollback. I think any one of you can look at the numbers and see that no matter when or what the climate looked like financially, landlords have got an increase. All landlords have got an increase. At not one point was the climate right for a rollback. And I think we all can be honest with ourselves now that it is time for a rent rollback and seeing what's going on with tenants in the city. Your actions here can either help or prevent communities staying intact. And that's not an exaggeration. We cannot continue to sustain the attacks on tenants, whether it's from Albany or rent increases that seem to go up every single year, irrespective if they're warranted or not. So I'd like to also submit this letter signed by approximately 30 council members asking you to consider a rent ban for tenants. This is the year of a tenant.
Excuse me, Mr. Williams? Go ahead. Actually, I have a challenge for you. It's been rumored that you would be highly influential in getting multiple city agencies, including city council, together to talk about housing and the decisions that all the various city agencies are making. And I made this joke, so that we don't all act like a bunch of only children, and that we actually have a dialogue, whether that be Department of Finance, HPD, Rent Guidelines Board, City Council. I would love to see a day when all the agencies that impact housing in the city sat together and talked about what each respective agency were doing, and again, just talk about what's going on, how each of them impacts. They're not mutually exclusive. And it was told to me that you might be the single person in city council that can do something like that.
Well, I don't know if I am the single person, but Ms. Willard, I'll be happy to do that, because I actually, my hope is that owners make a profit. I want them to continue to make a profit. I just don't want them to do it on the backs of tenants. And I think you hit it. I think you hit it on the head, that everything is connected, including what's done here today. So my hope is that you take into consideration what I said, and I will 100% take into consideration what you said, and hopefully you'll be the first person at the meeting when I call to try to put this together.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Vijay Boje, Gladys Puglia, and Lauren Renz. And if I'm mispronouncing someone's name, please correct me.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Gayatri. I'm here on behalf of my mom, who was scheduled to be here, but she's under the weather.
If you could repeat your name, please.
Gayatri.
Bosch, okay.
My name is Gayatri, and my mom and I own and manage a 6-family commercial unit in East New York, Brooklyn. My parents owned the building for 22 years. After my dad passed away 5 years ago, my mom and I have been managing and maintaining the property. Shortly after my dad passed away, we made some major renovations to make the building more affordable for us. We converted the 1,300-gallon above-ground oil tank to a smaller 275-gallon oil tank, less oil to purchase monthly so we can afford to heat the building efficiently. We also changed the hallways. We addressed minor leaks. Plus, we also address issues within the units timely in order to avoid major repairs. However, despite our efforts to make the building affordable, the rising costs for basic utilities such as the water bill, the common space lighting, heating oil, has made it impossible to pay these bills timely. We make monthly budgeted payments towards our $6,700 annual water and sewer bill last year, and in the end, I still had to use my savings to pay off the balance before the new bill arrived. Our tenants pay timely. We pay our bills on time, even if it means using my savings. Being able to increase their rent with a reasonable increase would make a difference for us. It's not a huge difference, but the additional rental income we would receive from this increase would allow us to pay our bills, would allow us to pay more towards our bills. Every little bit helps. We're not asking for a major increase, but an increase overall. I grew up in our building. My son is now growing up in our home. I would like to be able to afford our home so we can have somewhere to call our home and not be forced to sell because we cannot afford the expenses. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Article 50. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Gladys Puglia, then Lauren Renz, and Michael Jackas on behalf of Public Advocate Letitia James. Ms. Puglia?
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for accepting me to hear my testimony. I'm here again. I was here last year, and I'm going to keep coming, fighting for my apartment, fighting for my home, and fighting for all the poor community in my neighborhood. I live in Brooklyn, and I'm going to keep going until raising the rent is not a solution. More costs, making more repairs. Where are we going? That's why you got double prices, double spaces, because you don't repair when they tell you to come and repair it. You wait until everything's pretty repaired. So where is it? They're talking about all these expenses, and you come and charging us on our shoulders. I said before, I worked for the city. I had a lot of work for 14 years. I'm trying to make it, put on my table. My children left, they're coming back because they can't afford rent. So what is it? More? And it's right now, we're fighting to get that contract for the rent control. We're not going to do it until these people locally decide what to decide for our houses. So what is it? You're going to keep raising the rent for again? Where are we going to pay? How are we going to pay? And now what are we going to do? Are we clear our apartments to pay this rent? That's what we're doing now already. We're going to look at our homes, the ones that our kids left, so we can afford this rent. So where are we going? I got a lot of people, I said that before, that they threw her out of her room, her apartment. And then she was crying outside saying that she needs a place to live. I had to give my room so she could stay there. And she's still there. And she's going to be still staying there because she can't afford any rooms outside. And she gets only $500 a month. So where she's going to get? Where she's going to go? So please, this, whatever you decide, please for this year until we get this control or under control our rents.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Lauren Renz, then Michael Jackas on behalf of Public Advocate Letitia James, then Carmen Pinheiro, and Sofia Alvear.
Members of the Rent Guidelines Board, I usually speak to you in Manhattan. Hope you don't mind me coming and speaking in Brooklyn. My name is Lauren Renz. I own and live in a brownstone on West 80th Street in Manhattan, built in 1892. I've been the owner-manager for 36 years. The house has 8 rental units, half are stabilized. Since 1979, I've made extensive improvements in the house. I have good tenants who tell me it's a pleasure to live there. An ideal picture, except for one thing. Historic houses need costly upgrades and have increasingly high operating costs not captured in the price index, which is unsuited to small owners. We employ part-time supers and also plumbers, masons, electricians, painters, and roofers. None of the changes in these costs was measured in the cost survey I filled out. For 2015, my super's fee jumped 12%, plus a record $395 for snow removal. Property taxes rose 4% this year, 35% over 5 years, which they're entitled to do for any building under 10 units, and it's happened to me every time. It's 35% every 5 years. Insurance increased 7% this year. From 2014 to 15, I spent $21,000 for a new boiler. To meet current regulations, I had to install a steel chimney lining, $15,000, upgrade the boiler room, $8,450. Yes, I am filing for MCIs after a year and a half of waiting to get the approvals, but more than $10,000 for permits, equipment, and repairs are not eligible. Safety is important, it's very important, but owners are entitled to reasonable increases to pay for increasingly costly repairs and upgrades and for a slew of new building and fire codes, which you must be aware of. This is especially true for small owners with long-term stabilized tenants and low rents. In my house, tenants in 3 stabilized units pay $850 to $888 for one-bedroom apartments. The working couples, now in their 50s and 60s, they hit the jackpot by holding on to these apartments for 37-plus years, meanwhile acquiring other assets. It is unacceptable that their incomes were never tested. These low rents are paying...
Ms. Renz, we do have your testimony, and you can see we have a huge number of people, so if you could
May I
summarize, please summarize.
I'll summarize. These low-rent tenants are paying a shrinking share of taxes, water and sewer fees, operating costs. The disparity got worse last year when the board voted record low increases. Please do not repeat that mistake. Please give us a fair increase. Realize that costs are going up.
Thank you for your testimony. Michael, and if you could tell me how to pronounce your name, I'll be very grateful.
Chaskis.
Chaskis?
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of New York City Public Advocate Letitia James. The Rent Guidelines Board is one of the few mechanisms that the mayor still has to reserve affordable housing in our city. Rent-regulated apartments are the largest source of affordable housing for New Yorkers. And we all know that the city's housing market remains tight and extremely competitive. The Rent Guidelines Board's supply price determined that we're in a rent emergency, with the vacancy rate at 3.5%, which is less than the 5% required to create that emergency. Last year, the Public Advocate advocated for a rent freeze. Instead, we got 1% increases and 2.75% increases for 2-year leases. Another year passing on additional financial burdens onto tenants who are still rolling from prior rental increases is an unfair and unnecessary hardship. We need a rent freeze and we need it now. From 2012 to 2013, net operating income for revenue for property owners after operating expenses grew 3.4%, according to the Rent Guidelines Board. So why do we need a rent increase? Did the increase of tenants increase by 3.4%? Not only do these rent increases, in fact, everyone directly must also remember that communities such as Bushwick have seen their stock of regulated housing plummet from 41% in 2002 to 32% in 2011. This trend will only continue unless vacancy destabilization is ended once and for all. The last landlord list, the Public Advocate shows that Bushwick is one of the neighborhoods with the most buildings on our list. If we keep increasing rents and allowing parties to exit the program, where will people go? So in closing, we know that roughly 60,000 people are living in homeless shelters. Kings County Housing Court sees roughly 5,000 eviction cases per month. Action must be taken now to reverse these trends. New York should be an affordable place to live. The Rent Guidelines Board can and must take corrective action this year by voting for a rent freeze on both 1 and 2-year leases. This is something that is long overdue. Thank you.
Carmen Pinedo, Sofia Aliar, Maria Cortez.
Hola, mi nombre es Carmen Piñeiro, tengo 73 años. Soy miembro de Inquilinos Unidos de parte del Comité de la Quinta Avenida. Vivo en el 230 de Park Place, apartamento 2G en Prosper Heights. Vivo en una renta estabilizada hace 54 años y en los últimos años he sido de mucho acoso de parte del dueño y de su trabajador. Muchos de mis vecinos se han tenido que mudar y los dueños están más caros. En junio del año pasado, el 14, sufrí un gran engaño por el casero. Me dijo que iba a reparar una gotera de agua y a cambio demolió casi todo mi apartamento. Esas son las fotos. Me dejó sin paredes, sin piso, completamente inhabitable, sin servicio casi de electricidad. Pude pedir ayuda a la organización del Comité de la Quinta Avenida y me refirieron a los abogados de Legal Aid y a la concejal Laura Lumbo. Después de pelear por un periodo de más de 6 meses, mi apartamento fue restaurado. Yo quiero continuar viviendo en esa comunidad, definitivamente no puedo pagar aumentos muy altos. Solamente tengo el ingreso del Seguro Social. Creo en esta clase de caseros hacen suficiente dinero y nos acosan. No merecen un aumento, pero los inquilinos merecen devolución de renta por falta de servicio al casero. Con mi cheque de Seguro Social no puedo vivir en otro estado. El dueño me dice que me regrese a Puerto Rico. Yo llevo casi toda mi vida viviendo aquí en Nueva York. Tomen en consideración estos testimonios a prueba de lo que sufren a diario los inquilinos de renta estabilizada antes de hacer un aumento. Gracias.
My name is Carmen Piñero. I'm a member of Tenants United from the Fifth Avenue Committee. I live in 230 Park Place, apartment 2G in Prospect Heights. I live in a rent-stabilized apartment for a period of 54 years, in which in the last years I've received a lot of harassment on behalf of the owner and his worker. A lot of my neighbors have moved from their apartments, and the neighbors have put it more expensive. In June 2014, I suffered from a great trick. I was tricked when the landlord told me that he was going to repair some water leakage, and instead he came in and demolished half of my apartment. He left me without walls, without floor, and without ceiling. It was almost uninhabitable without electrical services. I was able to ask help from the Fifth Avenue Committee, and they referred me to South Brooklyn Legal Services and council person Lori Combo. And after fighting for a period of 6 months, my apartment was restored. I want to continue living in my community, and I definitely cannot pay a lot of increases because I only receive Social Security. I think this kind of landlord make enough money and they harass tenants. They don't deserve increases to the tenants, but they deserve return of rent for lack of services and constant harassment. My Social Security check will not allow me to live in another state. And the owner of my building has yelled at me many times that I should go back to Puerto Rico, even though I've lived half of my life in New York. Please take into consideration these testimonies and these proofs of the things that tenants suffer daily, and before doing a rent stabilization increase. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for your testimony. We do have some empty seats. Anyone who has an empty seat next to them, please raise your hand. And if anyone can come and move into these seats, again, I know the room is crowded, but we're trying to make it as comfortable as we can.
Si tienen un asiento vacío al lado suyo, levante la mano para que alguien se pueda sentar en el asiento que esté vacío al lado suyo. Levante la mano si tiene un asiento vacío al lado suyo.
Sorry, Rachel. I wanted to bring to your attention that they're holding a group of people downstairs, telling them that they're not allowed to come in. They told us that they were allowing people to come to the balcony, and they're not allowing them in now. So
I think our goal is to get as many people in here as possible so we can let people in who are now waiting. So again, as many people as can come in. There's fire codes, so we can't exceed the room, but obviously we want everyone to be able to come in and testify, and we'll stay here until everyone who would like to testify has an opportunity to do so. So again, please everyone make your way into the room and find seats where you can. Thank you so much.
Can we get an assertion from the security force that they're letting people up? There's room in the hall, there's room in the side door. This is a public hearing. There are people here who want to come into this public hearing. They are being prohibited from doing that. We need assurances that they can come in, or I think we're not following our obligations if people want to come to a public hearing.
We are working with the fire marshals to get as many people in as we can and to let people, we will not leave here until we've heard everyone who wants to testify. We promise that. We're doing our absolute best to bring as many people as we can, consistent with the fire code. So again, everyone come in if you can, and we're working with the fire marshal.